we need a hero at this point. They're not listening to us. They're not listening to the Attorney General.
I'm sorry,
We need to speak to him?
Do you have an appointment?
We don't, because he doesn't answer his emails or his phone calls.
Okay, you don't have an appointment, please hold.
Sprawling's behind them and they're like, do you care about me? Well, even the
Now it's broken.
I tried it. I'm curious if anybody has any more. Oh, Dustin.
A lot of this is new territory that hasn't been challenged before. So we have the governor's order, we have the AG's opinion, and then we have, a school board's decision. So we have to balance all these factors. So at this point, we also have a couple pending cases with our office. So there's not a lot of detail I can go into because we have active investigations going on.
You guys do have the AG's opinion regarding official oppression that was requested by D. Hobbs, is that correct?
Yeah, so we've gotten numerous complaints, numerous emails, and we've been working with multiple law enforcement agencies to figure out who's the best agency to initiate the investigation. Usually we get involved on the back end once the case has either been filed by law enforcement or sent in to us as a review by law enforcement. At that point, we look at it, we look at the facts, we look at the legal aspects, and then we try to make the best decision we can whether to go forward or not. There's multiple different types of offenses, multiple complaints. We've received numerous complaints daily.
Your office has the case for Dustin Clark and Jeremy Story, is that
Those
correct?
charges have been filed, so they have come to our office, so we're working through those cases as well to make a determination on how to handle those cases as well.
Okay, so he hasn't made a decision as to whether to dismiss or drop, or does he have the power to do that?
Ultimately, we have the power to decide whether to file a case, not file a case. That's within the power of the county attorney's office. Generally, we have to gather all the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
It could be video, it could be statements. We look at all the evidence. Because there are multiple different complaints and allegations, there's potential conflicts of interest in terms of if we can keep one case, maybe we can't keep another case. We're trying to weigh those, look at all the legal ramifications. Like I said, ultimately, we just want to get it right. Both under the law and under the facts we have.
Etc. So, for example, hypothetically, if the current booking orders in Wilco are for DWI, child support, and felonies, and there's an exception to the rule made for a misdemeanor in a crowded court system, is that something you need to consider in terms of the actions of some of the actors here involved, including law enforcement itself?
Well, that's something we really don't get involved in because that's a determination made by the sheriff. Just like if they give good conduct time for a person that's sentenced to jail, that's something that's made by the sheriff in terms of what cases they take, don't take. If there was some sort of policy violation, that wouldn't be something we would probably handle, but I don't know.
For us, this is kind of a time-sensitive issue, so, and we're trying to be as patient and understanding, knowing that the court system can take a little bit of time, but not to be hyperbolic, but we need a hero at this point. They're not listening to us. They're not listening to the Attorney General. Our only recourse at this point is either to pull our kids, which isn't an option for everybody, or to pursue potential criminal charges, which is an option as far as the AG is concerned. So, and I understand there's got to be investigations and everything. Videos have been provided, witness accounts have been provided. What kind of timeline are we looking at? Because this is still dragging on day to day, and they are flagrantly denying our rights.
So part of that, I can't speak to I can't give you a definite time. And like I said, there's multiple issues, multiple cases, multiple potential investigations that are all kind of going on simultaneously. There's also been temporary restraining orders issued by some judges. Then I believe one of the issues was brought up to the third court. That's probably still pending for the Supreme Court. Here, because there are many complaints coming in daily that we're trying to review. We're trying to work with law enforcement. A lot of times law enforcement is the one that does the initial investigation and the workup on the case. Then they send it to us for the legal review. And then that's usually when we get involved in the process.
Right, and you have a case, I just got a voicemail from a Wilco Sheriff's investigator that he's already transferred my case to your office. So how do I get an update on that?
So I would just stay in contact with Richard May. We also have the general email thing, but if you're the complainant, then generally you would contact, Richard May, stay in contact with him. Like I said, we want to expedite it as much as we can. We also want to make sure we get it right and not rush anything. So I wish I could give you more information, a better timeline, but that's all the information I can give at this time.
This is a very time-sensitive issue because it's concerning the safety of numerous children, thousands upon thousands, and not just this Central Texas area, but across the state. So I would like an update as to the penal code charges that have been filed or at least reported having to do with LISD pedophilia to minors. Obscenity code 43.23, which we are getting mixed communication from. We're being told that it's not going to be handled by the local prosecutor. I'm very anxious to know how your office is handling it and at what point that is. And I also want to discuss official oppression because I'm a veteran and there's an actual attack against service members that are standing up to these corrupt school boards. And I myself have been kicked out of a school board meeting. I was the second individual in the last 4 weeks. The first person was a fellow veteran, parent of LISD, and myself. I was the second person, and I'm a veteran. 4 more people were kicked out less than a week later, 2 of them a married couple, veterans. So I'd like to connect with someone and make an official, investigation request for all of the unlawful acts at Leander ISD.
Have you reported that to law enforcement?
I have tried, not just at local Leander Police Department, but also I attempted very fully at Wilco Sheriff's Office, and they would not speak to me there. However, I insisted that I receive an incident report, and I did file as much as I could on the service call form.
Okay.
So I'm a very diligent parent, and I expect accountability. And again, this is for the safety of the children of the state of Texas.
Right, and so a lot of that, it's a very complicated issue, the first one that you talked about, because, you get into First Amendment versus the TA and their board and their standards and what qualifies. Sometimes it could go with civil route, sometimes, whether it rises to a level of a criminal offense. Usually, once again, that would be investigated by law enforcement initially, complaints made, they send it to our office for review, or they just file charges. We get it, then we look at the legal aspects of it, apply a lot of the facts, and just see, what's justice in that particular case.